Hello, chums, and welcome to episode 99.6 of the Triforce podcast.
99.6 FM.
I got some good news. I think I fixed my computer. Remember last week I was super bummed out because my computer wasn't working?
It took a whole week.
Wait, you've gone roboty.
It's a whole new world.
I'm only kidding.
Don't troll him like that. Fucking hell, P-Flex. Poor boy.
Do you guys want me to walk you through it, or would you like the bath plug story again? Which one?
No.
No. All right.
It was so funny when you were telling that. I knew you'd told that before, and I was bored to death the first time you told it, and then you were telling it again. All this detail about a bath plug.
know, yeah.
How is that?
Sips
How
loves
is
that
it
story.
stuck in your head?
I could listen to that story over and over again.
I don't understand why that story comes up again.
I don't know, man, because nothing happens in my life. I don't even know.
No, Grandpa's telling the bathtub story again.
Well, fucking, you guys try to do a podcast every week and keep on top of the stories that you've told for 99.6 episodes.
You're right.
Nothing happens.
You're right.
You know, we're trapped in the dad garage and, you know, playing RimWorld. And it's not like nothing happens. I haven't done anything this week. I am the least interesting man in Britain.
All I'm saying is, of all the stories to come back to again and again, that particular one is the worst.
What have you done this week, P-Flex? Come on.
Mrs. F was away
all
week.
You guys for real don't want to hear about how I solved my computer problem? Because I did it.
Not really.
All right, okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, tech support stories are boring.
Unless it involved some Mission Impossible style, you know, like rope from the ceiling where you get to dangle over an alarmed floor.
It's a really weird one, though. That's why I thought you'd find it interesting.
Go on, then. Yeah, no, hit us with the story.
No,
it kept locking up. It kept freezing midstream, everything. And we were streaming yesterday. I was streaming with Terps, and it was doing the same, locking up and stuff. So at first I thought it was my audio interface, and I think there were problems with the audio interface. I got a new one, and that seems fine now. And then I thought it was my graphics card. I got a 2080 Ti, and I was like, you know, this is a beast. How is this like breaking or not working or whatever? And then I sort of ruled out, no, it's not that. Like it seemed fine. Every time the computer would lock up, I'd hear like this spinning up sound and like fans and stuff like that.
Okay.
So at one point I didn't have my headphones on. Okay, I'm at my computer with no headphones on. I was typing an email, and then the thing locked up, and I could hear like a hard disk spinning up because I have like storage disks, you know, just for like all my porn and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I've got SSD for like you know, games and whatever.
Where's Terry the Turtle at this time? He hasn't like crawled into it or anything.
No, he's in his cage. She's locked away safe.
That's good. What about like were you feeling a bit stressed, so you decided to run the bath?
No, I didn't decide to run a bath in this instance.
Lewis, let him tell the damn story, would you?
Sorry.
So I hear
You're making this worse.
I hear a disc spinning up. And I think, well, maybe it's one of the hard disks, like, you know, maybe it's faulty or it's about to fail or whatever, okay? So I'm streaming, and then people in the chat keep pointing out it's like 58 minutes intervals on the dot. And so I'm like, hang on, that can't be right. There's no coincidence. That's something like
messages from aliens.
A repeatable failure.
Yeah, so it's like it's got to be something like in the Windows scheduler, or like, you know, power saving options or something like that, right? Like, you know, for something to happen like that regularly and consistently. So I look in the power saving options. I've got it.
I was gonna say, dude, it's power saving every fucking time.
It's crazy, right? So it's on high performance, which means that nothing should ever try to sleep or hibernate or anything, right? It should just be on, going like full fucking tilt, like, you know, just going like crazy the whole time, right? This is a powerful new PC. I look under hard disks, and it's set to sleep after 20 minutes of inactivity for 20, like every 20 minutes. So it wasn't even working properly. It wasn't doing it every 20 minutes. It was doing it like every hour. So I set that setting to never. Boom, fixed.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
I know. It's insane.
That's
my
nuts.
laptop, my PC, I've had this same fucking issue. Windows does it. Like, let's look at Windows for a second, shall we?
Do we have to? Fuck me, I'm so annoyed.
Just for a moment.
Okay.
I know we try to avoid hard topics on this podcast, but we need to talk about Windows.
Windows is a really tough topic. I mean,
it is a tough one, but let's
up there
try
with
and
Piers
broach
Morgan and Trump for sure.
Let's broach it.
Okay.
I think Windows 10 isn't bad. All right, there have been far worse. All right, that's the best I can say about it. It's not bad.
Oh God.
But I don't understand. There's no other world where the owner of the OS, the designer, and all the rest of it enforces things on the owner that they have no idea is happening. Most people wouldn't even know how to fix, and that it keeps turning back on. Xbox Live recording shit is a prime example. You can't remove that shit because when you update your computer again, they'll say, "Oh, it looks like you're missing the Xbox DVR thing, which fucks up your computer's performance. We'll just put that back in here." And they do that with all kinds of shit. I don't get it. It would be like taking your car to the garage and they readjust everything.
I mean, it's crazy.
Retune your radio, they move all your mirrors, they whack the seats all over the place and say, "Well, this is how it's sold, so you have to take it that way and fix it again yourself." No, I've fucking customized this shit. You're always talking about how Windows is great and you can do what you want with it. Then stop fucking with it. Let me do what I want with it. You keep your fucking grubby mitts off, Bill.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Terps have paid good money for all of these Pentiums, and for the hard drives to just turn off every hour is not good enough, Bill.
Yeah, it's not on. Bill, if you're listening,
Bill,
support the Patreon.
Yeah,
Don't be a lazy
and Bill,
fucker,
while
you're
you're
rich.
at it, why don't you fucking suck on my dick, Bill? How about that? How about that? That's right. The Triforce podcast once again bringing the realness and the rawness to the internet.
Oh, so have you ever thought about the name Microsoft? The word penis goes after both of those words.
Microsoft.
Micro penis, soft penis.
It's an
That's
excellent
what it's all
way
about.
of describing my penis. Microsoft.
Listen to this, Bill, you micro penis limp dick motherfucker.
Yeah.
If you fuck with Sips's Windows one more time.
That's right.
I don't want to say what's going to happen, but it's going to involve a jug, motherfucker. There's a jug.
I got a stream, Bill. Okay, we can't all sit around on our luxury yacht because we revolutionized the home PC market. Okay, Bill, we don't all have that luxury. Some of us have to do a little thing called work for a living, Bill.
Oh my God,
you piece of shit.
So Windows, I think, is like democracy, right? It's the worst one we have, but it's the only one that we can. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's the worst form of thing apart from all the others.
I'm
right?
so glad you corrected that so
it's
precisely.
one of those things that you just don't give a fuck about when it's working at all, right? But the moment it stops working, all of a sudden you're like acutely aware of how shit it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I read a thing this week about how, like, because there was this thing on Reddit. I sometimes read Reddit. I don't know. I shouldn't. It's terrible. It's full of crap. But about how, like, the Greeks were kind of the original democracy, right? The ancient Greeks.
Yeah.
And they actually really gave a shit about what people said.
Yeah.
And it really didn't work. It kind of led to, like, the downfall, right? The democracy that they had where they actually asked people what they thought. Because the general people are very knee-jerky. They're very kind of angry. Back in Greek times as well, like, you know, ancient Greek times, they weren't very well educated, and as a result they were kind of a little bit kind of pliant, you know. And so what happened was they moved away from democracy to more of like a republican style in Rome, which worked well for a while, but then eventually that turned into an
orgy,
authoritarian emperorship, right?
Yeah.
And then they basically just had kings for about 2,000 years, you know.
Yeah.
And we've only really moved back to democracy recently, but democracy now apparently is nothing like Greek democracy. It's like nothing like it at all, to the point where it's been designed to not be the same.
Democracy now, I don't even know what.
Do you know what else used to
like...
happen in ancient Greece? I was reading about this. There was a big thing on Wikipedia about it. I didn't realize this was a thing. If you carefully Google pedophilia in ancient Greece,
right?
Google,
Carefully,
right?
yeah.
There was a big thing back then where a son, like a young lad, 13, 14, would be basically taken under the wing of an older patron, like a guy who would obviously fuck him and stuff like that, and but also like educate him. So he was like his mentor and sodomizer. Like that was a part of their culture. And these lads would be sort of walking around town trying to pick up some rich older dude to sort of be their patron. This was a big thing. Like, I'm not even kidding. This was like a big part of Greek culture. You can go and look it up. It's fascinating.
I won't be doing that. But you know, like how sometimes people speak about like I wasn't meant to be born in this day and age. Like I should have been born in a previous one.
What era do you think you should have been born in, Sips? Because I'm fascinated.
That one that you just described. That's
you think that was your era?
That's the one for me for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
So think about that, Bill. Hey, when you're designing your next fucking little Windows operating system or whatever, take that one into account for no specific reason, and go fuck yourself as well at the same time.
We don't really have a choice. I mean, Windows, it feels like people who work at Microsoft probably just they have to kind of justify their job. They're like, oh, I'm going to add this new thing. I'm going to work on this new thing. And you end up with this terribly bloated mess of a product. And it seems like everything starts off like like this nice streamlined thing like Steam, and then slowly becomes or Discord,
bloated
and
with,
slowly becomes more
crap,
and more bloated with like useless
You
garbage.
complaining about Discord?
Discord takes up like fucking 50% of my processor right now. I've got like a trillion messages. It's selling me games. It's like got pop-ups all the fucking time.
Discord's amazing. I love
Used
Discord.
to just be a nice chat program.
Yeah, Discord
What's
is
going
good
on?
as a chat program, but I don't want it selling me stuff and notifying me every time somebody farts and stuff. Like,
I love it. You can turn all that shit off.
I have turned it all
I think
off.
Discord
It's
is fucking
so
fantastic.
annoying, yeah.
I love. Big shout out to Discord.
Don't fucking shout out Discord. They're fucking...
I love Discord. What's wrong with Discord?
Well,
They're a key sponsor now, Lewis. You have to shout them out.
the fact that the entire complaints of last week's podcast was due to Discord and Focusrite not working well together, and we had like an hour of
no,
the
that
problem was
issues
Sips's
because they
computer.
refused to fix it.
It was the buffer. The buffer setting was too high, apparently, which I don't think should have caused those issues. But there you go.
I don't know. It's always had problems with. We've always had. Anyway, look, nothing's perfect, is it? I'm allowed to complain about whatever I want.
No,
right?
no, including your
Of
opinion,
course you are.
Lewis.
And I'm gonna complain about everything.
Of course, and I'm allowed to complain about your complaint. That's how this works.
Modern democracy works, fellas.
Yeah, we just shout at each other.
The Greeks
You're
never had
complaining.
this.
Stop complaining. What's everyone complaining? Everybody's. Oh, here's the problem nowadays. Everyone complains. Everyone should just shut up and put up with how miserable they are.
It's very British. I don't know. Like I was thinking about this today. Like this morning, I woke up and I was like, it's sometimes like rare that I get like super excited about stuff.
Right, we had this conversation last week about
Yeah.
games, didn't we? And excitement, and you did that whole thing where you were excited, and it was really funny.
And I was trying to. Well, since then, I was trying to think what made me excited, and I realized it was like partly like doing stuff with friends that is difficult. Like, you know, like winning P-Flex, you know what it's like when you win a Dota game that's been particularly hard fought, when you're going back and forth, you know.
It's
like,
a relief.
Like kind of winning against the odds.
We've
you
had
know.
quite a few against the odds wins in Dotes lately, I tell you what. Mainly because if I'm playing, the odds are against you. But
Yeah.
second of all, the games just seem really fucking hard. But Dota's in a great place right now. I'm looking forward to the internet.
Have you guys seen that the auto chess train has arrived now? Valve has one.
Man.
Riot's
Yeah.
released one.
Riot's doing one, Valve's doing one, the Drodo guys did one, and there are like how many other companies making them?
A guy in my chat yesterday when I was streaming made the joke that in 2023 Blizzard will release one as well, which was pretty funny actually. It's a very typical Blizzard too.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys enjoy Keanu Reeves' appearance on the E3 stuff? I thought that was super funny. I really I know there's a lot of memes about it, but I fucking thought that was hilarious.
That was all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't like jizzing my pants like some people were about
I
it.
just couldn't believe it. So unexpected. Like, there's Keanu fucking Reeves. Like, he's now elevated to hyper cool status.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's only really like I'm surprised it's taken so long for traditional movie stars to filter through to basically, you know, an industry that is bigger than that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the games industry is worth more than theirs now. So, like, I guess maybe there'll be more of that. You know, they'll start to realize
Jack
that.
Black has a Twitch stream now, apparently.
Well, I mean, he's obviously been doing his YouTube channel, Jablonski Games. Have you seen that?
No.
Jack Black's
No, I
YouTube
haven't.
channel. So
he's got a Twitch.
He's
stream.
got like this kid who's quite cool.
Remind me of the name of it so I can make sure I avoid it. What's it called again?
It's good. It's all right. He's quite good.
I don't want to
really.
accidentally click on it and give him a view.
I mean, actually,
you know?
he's quite. I like Jack Black. I always
I'm just
have.
joking.
You don't like him, Sips?
Nah, he's all right. I'm just joking.
He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, he seems all right.
He's
yeah.
got obviously. I think his kid wanted to make a YouTube channel with his dad, and it started off as
That's the catalyst for all of these guys. Like a lot of Hollywood people, their kids sort of watching YouTubers and streamers and
Your
stuff.
kids keep you young.
That's not true. They add years onto your life, Lewis.
No,
Trust
they
me,
keep
with
you.
the-
They keep
the
you
worry.
up and like up to
They
date.
do
with
get you
modern
interested in
times.
things that you otherwise wouldn't have been. Especially when you go somewhere on holiday or something. You do stuff with the kids you would never have done. Like, you go see things that you probably wouldn't see, but will please them, and it's nice. It is nice.
Yeah, we went outside a lot last time I went on vacation, which is not something I would normally really
Yeah,
do.
for real.
So there's that. You're right about that.
Talking about people doing YouTube channels because their kids want to. My youngest loves YouTube. She watches Azzyland.
Well, this whole
and
generation
Afamau.
does. It's become a big thing for like the up and coming generation of.
But so
of younger
now
children.
when she plays, we've got an iPad. She pretends to make YouTube videos. She knows she can't upload them because I've told her she can't have a YouTube channel because she's only 7. But she makes little YouTube videos and she pretends that she's got like a channel. Okay. So she gets her little iPad and she lays out her Barbies. She goes, "Okay, guys, welcome to today's video. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe." And all this. She says the whole spiel that they all have, all these YouTubers, and I think it's kind of sweet. Like it's no more harmful than when I used to pretend I was Han fucking Solo or Indiana Jones or He-Man.
You were
or whatever.
what?
I pretended I was Han Solo.
I thought you said I was hand fucking Solo.
Jesus Christ.
Not at 7.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, look, no one wanted to be Luke Skywalker because he was like a drip, and he's just kind of a drip, Luke Skywalker. Even though he was the hero and everything, it's like, no one wants to be Luke. You want to be Han or Chewie.
I want to be hand fucking
or
Solo.
Something like a hand fuck. You want to hand fuck Han Solo.
Yeah, I do actually, yeah. Oh, man. Well, it's weird because my son doesn't do what your daughter does in the sense of pretending that he's making YouTube videos. He likes YouTube a lot. He likes watching people playing Minecraft, especially is like, he likes that. But we make him read a lot as well because we're scared that he's just going to become like a screen zombie, like a lot of kids become sort of thing. So we make sure that he does a lot. So he's really into now he's really into like Roald Dahl books, which is great. And he gets the Beano every week as well. Which is
I get that too.
Like a comic magazine that comes out weekly in the UK. And it's got like the UK Dennis the Menace in it and a bunch of other characters.
The real Dennis the Menace. Yeah. The real Dennis the Menace.
Well, it's weird with Dennis the Menace because they were both the American one and the British one both came out at the exact same time.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
I'm Googling this.
It's a really weird thing. I don't know if it's coincidence or if it was by design, but yeah, they were both like in the 50s, I think, like around the exact same time they both came out. So anyway, he gets the Beano, and what we're finding he's doing now is he's making his own comics. Like he's
holy shit! March the 12th, 1951.
Yeah, it's weird, eh?
What the fuck?
So he's like got his own brand, and he's like writing his own comics, and they're pretty good. Like he's 7, right? Like he's making his own comics. So we got him this we got him some comic paper. It's just like blank paper with boxes on it already, like ready to go, sort of thing, so that he can make
you covered
better comics.
Yeah, we sell comic paper. Yeah, we got loads of that.
Oh, it's great though. It's so good because he just fucking goes nuts and he just makes these long comics and stuff, and it's really, really nice to see. Like, that he's not just...
I mean, is he smart enough to make jokes that are actually like jokes? Because there's always like this is Twitter of like kids write jokes,
Yeah, he made a joke the other day. He's like, what is the worst day of the week for a chip? I was like, I don't know. He's like, Friday. It's like, yeah, that's really good. That's a good one. But I mean, to be fair, he came up with it, so I mean, it's not that bad.
It's pretty good. I'll take that. No, that's a good start.
Yeah. So he's like, I think it's great. I think he's drawing a lot. He's like, he's coming up with like ideas for comics and stuff. And I just think I'd much rather him do that than watch some fucking man-child playing Minecraft. I know I was that man-child, but I'd rather him do something better with his time. You know what I mean?
But do you know what's weird? When comics were a big thing in the golden age of comics, all the parents were worried about comics. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was the concern.
Yeah.
Is that these kids, they just read in comic books. But now with screens, what you're saying and what I think a lot of people are saying is, oh, I'm so glad they're reading comics and drawing comics as well. But if you were doing that 40 years ago, that would be the thing people were upset that you were doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and before that, it was like wearing a skirt that exposed your ankles and stuff too, like daily. That was bad.
Okay, so I get it. Like that's a really interesting thing because does that mean that the things that we're trying to avoid our kids doing now, they're going to be encouraging them to do in like 40 years, So like,
because in 40 years the kids are going to be doing crystal meth and crack.
Yeah. Like, oh God, just play Fortnite for fuck's sake.
No, they're not even going to. It's going to be all like synth drugs. Flax. It's going to be like spice.
I mean, a parent's going to be trying to force their kids to play Fortnite and like, get them into it. It's like,
well, no, they do now.
You're allowed to take all your synth drugs if you play 2 hours of Fortnite. Okay.
Exactly.
No, that is happening now though. People are like, getting their kids into, big streaming games and stuff like that. and then kind of getting them to become YouTubers or streamers as well.
Wow.
I mean,
So
that obviously is a thing which we've talked about before, where parents actively monetize their kids by turning them into little money making machines, which is horrible,
which is a bit weird,
and I absolutely despise it.
But again, not new. It's just that now anyone can do it. You don't need a Hollywood agent.
Yeah,
I guess more like it's always happened. I guess, like, you know, back in the day, you had to, if your parents were into, I don't know, playing piano and they wanted you to be a piano prodigy, then at the age of 4 you'd be encouraged to have piano lessons, and they'd encourage your parents.
I mean,
look
at Michael Jackson. His whole youth was taken up with his dad drilling him to be a better dancer and singer and all the rest of it, and the whole Jackson.
And he turned out fine, you know.
he turned out fine.
It was a really good story.
It was fine.
I guess it's like I'm not a parent. I'm not even hoping to be one. You know, I mean, it's scary. It's a scary thing to have that responsibility and, like, you know, make a decision. Do you like, what do you encourage your kids to do? What's gonna mess them up? I don't know. You just have to sort of, I guess, just be sensible about it. But Azzyland sounds like a good one, P Flex.
She loves. I mean, I've watched some of this stuff just to make sure, and I can't fucking bear it. Like,
well, no, but it's not designed for you to be, though. You know, you're not the target.
Yeah, no,
demographic.
exactly. Well, exactly, and therefore I'm not going to judge it.
No.
So all I ask is, like, when she's listening to it at too high a volume, I ask her to trim it down a bit, because the laughter of these shrieking people drives me up the fucking wall, and I can't stand it.
I know my big problem is that I've forgotten how to have fun. So, like, when I hear other people having fun,
it makes you want to puke.
It makes me want to physically be sick.
Yeah.
And I try to avoid
Stop
being
having
sick.
fun in there.
Yeah.
Until that YouTuber to stop fucking having fun as well.
Fuck that guy.
That's pretty much what
It sounds like he might be gaining subscribers. Turn it off right now.
But they get into, like, they were both super into Dan TDM and Stampy Longhead.
Yeah, I think Dan TDM has got to be one of the biggest now, right? YouTubers.
He's huge. Yeah, the dude makes a fortune. I mean, and, you know, they were, like, talking about, you know, Dan, and I was like, look, don't worry about Dan. All right, they were worried about something. He said something like, oh, so and so, you know, he was some minor concern in his life. I said, listen to me, Dan's a millionaire. Okay, Dan is fine. Don't you worry about Dan. Something he was worried about in one of his videos. Not something serious, but she was worried about it.
Right.
I was like, look, he's a grown-up. He's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, man, the excuses kids will come up with to not go to bed, though, right? Like,
yeah, no, for real.
I can't sleep. My son couldn't sleep last night because he was worried about ghost ships. What?
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Oh, man.
I mean, they're probably out there, son, yes, but we don't live in the ocean. You don't got to worry about that. Jeez.
I like how you agreed with him. You were like,
I couldn't sleep last night either. I was petrified.
Oh, man.
I can see you two both sitting up, like, in the middle of, like, your dressing gowns in the kitchen.
It's like that episode of
downstairs.
Simpsons when Homer and the kids are all hiding behind the mattress. Marge's gone out. She gets home. Boogeyman!
Oh, yeah. Bart, I don't want to alarm you, but there may be a boogeyman or boogeymen in the house. So Mrs. F was away all week, so I kind of felt like Homer when he was left alone.
Oh, man.
But in a slightly different way, because I normally look after the kids anyway.
Right.
Like, that's my day-to-day thing. So Mrs. F being away didn't really change our routine too much.
Wait, did she?
But the interesting...
Didn't she go away with the kids? Did you, or was that?
No,
is that your ideal scenario? She goes away. with the
That's
kids?
my ideal
Right.
scenario. Though,
Sorry, I got those
sadly,
mixed
she
up.
just went. I know. She went to fucking Vegas for 3 days.
Whoa.
For her company. Her company annual due was in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas,
which sounds like fun, at the, like, Bellagio or something.
Very nice.
And then she went to LA because her brother lives in LA, so she went to visit him for a few days. I was like, this is like the best fucking holiday. She's sending all these pictures of how amazing California is. It rained every fucking day.
In California?
Every fucking day. No, here.
Oh, here, right. I was going to
I'm
say.
not talking about California. California was
never
beautiful.
rains in
I'm
California.
talking about
Jesus.
here.
Yeah.
So she's sending all these pictures of this glorious sunshine. She's at, like, a cool bar. She's gone to some cool restaurant. And I'm sitting here with the kids just thinking, like, fucking hell, I got the raw end of this deal. But it really wasn't too bad. She had a great time. So she brought me back some presents, so we're good.
Did she bring you back more money than she left with? Because that's an important thing to accomplish.
She didn't gamble, unfortunately.
What?
I know, dude.
Mrs. Flax,
it's
come on.
Probably a smart idea.
I know you're listening right now. Next time you go to Vegas, you got to get your gamble on.
Just throw some money away.
You got to
just throw some money on the ground.
She brought me back some goldfish crackers.
Oh,
I love
nice.
goldfish crackers.
Yeah.
And she brought me back some. I know. I tweeted a picture of Snyder's of Hanover, who I've always said I would happily be a sponsored streamer for Snyder's of Hanover pretzels. I love them. I've never had this flavor. Hot buffalo wing flavor. Exceptional.
I saw you tweet that, actually. Yeah.
Exceptional.
Nice.
The jalapeno ones are my normal go-to in this country.
Jalapeno.
But I love these ones.
100% artificial ingredients. There's not a single nutrient.
Let me guess.
Go on.
Let me guess. You disapprove.
Hey, your body's a temple, Flax. If you're going to fill it with garbage, you're going to have garbage body. That's how temples work.
What an eloquent way of saying it.
I worship the god of garbage.
Yeah,
so
well, there you go.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Oscar the Grouch. The patron saint of garbage.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one.
So fucking okay, I was in my place this week. Okay, now whenever I go out, I always like double lock the door. Okay, it's just a thing. I'm like very for some reason very OCD about like.
I knew you were going to fucking say you're OCD about that.
Yeah, you can't really say that. You're not OCD.
No,
I'm not. I can't say that, but I feel like I want to express that I always double lock.
You double lock your
okay?
door. That's not called OCD. That's just called good home security.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
that's it.
anyway.
It's just called being a sensible adult who cares about his belongings in his house.
Now, I came back home yesterday
Uh-huh.
and I put the key in and the door just opened, right? It wasn't locked. Okay.
Was the hair that you taped across the doorway also missing?
I don't do that, but if I had
You
done,
should.
it definitely would have been.
Right.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you got home and the door was completely unlocked.
Now, no one else had been visiting. No one lives with me. There's no one else there. Okay. So I assume I texted my cleaner. I was like, "Have you been in today?" And she was like, "No, I was in 2 days ago." And I was like, "Yeah, but did you come back round or anything?" And she was like, "No."
No.
So I was like, "Okay, that's the only other person who has a key."
Right.
Could you hear like that weird noise that phones make, like when you're tapping characters on the phone coming from your bathroom? Your cleaner's just like hiding in there in a cupboard, responding to your texts.
No, I'm not in your bathroom. No, I'm not naked in your bathroom right now.
It's always naked, eh? There's always a sexual slant to this stuff.
Can't help
Sorry.
it.
No, it's
Daddy horny, Michael. Daddy horny.
It's human nature though, isn't it? Like you always expect somebody to somehow be naked or wanting to have sex with you, right? Like
Yeah.
Well, I do, but I don't think it's normal.
I think it is though. I feel the same way, and that's two of us, so
Yeah, but I think we're different.
maybe.
So I
Special,
don't
I
know
would say.
whether this is like a red flag and I'm like going to be murdered, but none of my stuff was missing. Nothing was moved around. There was still like,
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
right.
like
A
pants lying on
murderer would
floor and
rob the
stuff.
place and leave some clues. They're hiding in the cupboard, Lewis. They're probably in there right now.
Well, I'm not dead. I had all of last night to try
Yeah,
it.
but they watched you while you slept.
But I was lying in bed last night thinking, should I be worried? Someone obviously has come in to the place today. I think it was, I don't know, but I assume it must be the landlord because he's the only person who would.
That's a
have
very
keys.
Wait, so there is another person with keys.
That's a very unsettling thing, though, isn't it? To know that potentially somebody has been in your place, but like they haven't done anything, right? Like they haven't most burglars would just like ransack your place, steal the jewelry,
shit on the floor,
leave
some
the taps
some
running or
graffiti.
whatever as a call
Yeah.
sign, and then they would leave.
Yeah,
but, like,
or it would be tidy.
a serial killer would break in and just like leave like a pube taped to like your mirror or something like that.
Well, my place is such a shithole. It's like the garbage temple, you know.
Right, okay.
If they did come in, they would have left like a trail of cleanness through it, you know, just
Right,
to push their
I
way
see.
through.
But you've already solved the case yourself. You said, Mr. Lewis, at the start, or I should say Mr. Brindley, at the start of your testimony, that yourself and your cleaner were the only two people who had keys. You have then added a third party, the landlord.
I assume he has a key. I don't know. He's never come in. And also, he said these are the only keys when he gave them to me, and I had to get one cut for my cleaner. But he must have a spare, right?
He must have.
Every time I move into a new place, I always change the locks. I'm paranoid about stuff like that. I wouldn't say I'm OCD about it, but I am concerned that somebody out there might have a key to my house. And you know what? It's not even that I worry about the stuff in my house so much. I just don't want to like wake up in the middle of the night and somebody be standing in my bedroom. Like, look.
Yeah, that's my greatest
That's
fear.
one of my greatest fears, yeah.
Here's the thing, right? I think I am going a bit mad because, well, just madder than usual, because I watch so many and listen to so many like things about murders and
True crime
and
podcasts.
crime stuff. I love it.
You listen to true
but
crime
at the same
podcasts?
time, I'm slightly beginning to think it like is making me more suspicious about things that I shouldn't be suspicious about.
Right.
I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, there was that show I watched about the serial killer It was on Netflix recently, but she basically watched. So he tried to kill someone who'd watched all of The Walking Dead. Okay,
right.
And so she was a very paranoid woman. Okay, she was like ready to fight zombies, basically. And so when he attacked her, he ended up
getting killed,
getting fucked over.
Right.
But like,
wait a second, she was able to defend herself because she'd watched The Walking Dead.
Yeah, well, she was also a vet, so she was quite used to dealing with like yapping animals and stuff, like quick physical movements.
Sorry, I thought when you said a vet, I immediately
like
thought
a Vietnam vet
that
or
she was
something.
like a war vet.
Oh well, she was also a highly trained soldier.
She
but
was
my point is,
also a Navy SEAL with
she was
100 confirmed kills.
trained and born to kill. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a problem.
No, but so I think that all contributed though. So I'm saying what I am. I feel like both at one stage I'm very prepared for any crazy stuff to happen. I'm very on edge, you know. I think a lot of people would just say, "Oh, the door's open, no worries." But I'm like thinking, do I need to get a little camera now? You know,
Right.
I'm like gonna start beefing up my. I'm a bit worried, you know, and but at the same time I'm thinking, is this just madness because I watched and listened to too much of this stuff and I'm paranoid that there's like crazy nutcases out there? Do you know what I mean? I can start to see how, like, if I'm not careful, I could get myself into a weird spiral of not trusting people because of this sort of stuff, you know? Whereas it's very small. Like, the amount of murders that actually happen are so small and infrequent, and you know, especially in like the UK, you know, I mean, the people
we have
get
a pretty
stabbed
low
a
murder
bit.
rate. That's
there's
true.
a bit of a stabathon going on all over the country, but
In London,
well,
there is,
London, yeah.
but yeah, I mean, apart from that, I mean, if you're going to get stabbed, you can kind of see it coming, you know. No one's waiting in your cupboard, you know, or there's no ghost ships pulling up to the harbour with pirates.
Yeah, there's no ghost ships.
Yar!
The ghosts.
We're to
arrive.
pillage your house.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why you would be scared of a ghost ship. Because what's a ghost ship realistically going to do to you?
Do you know?
No, that's why.
Well, that's what's scary.
That's what I'm speculating right now. Like, I'm going through the logical possibilities of what a ghost ship could potentially do. I mean, it's unlikely that it's just going to sail up onto the land a mile or so and
Didn't you
knock at
see
your front door or
the-
whatever. Like,
The Lord of the Rings, the ghost ship turns up, the ghosts all poured off.
yeah, but
right?
I think that the ghost ship is anchored at sea, right?
Yeah.
Because the laws of ghosts is that you have to sort of be in and around where you died. Like, you can't.
But what if there was a river like hundreds of thousands of years ago and it died? You know, it got, I don't know, dried up or whatever. Could a ghost ship go up a ghost river?
No, well, most ships aren't really designed to go up rivers, though. Like, it'd have to be a really
the
big
ghost
river.
ship is just an abandoned ship. It's not a ship that's actually a ghost. The ship is just a ship. It's got no crew, and there's no sign of what happened to them. Like in Obra Dinn, remember?
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
figure out what happened.
Well, I haven't played that yet.
Oh, that's so fucking
Oh,
good.
you haven't
that
played
game.
Obra Dinn?
Yeah,
Best
don't
game of
spoil
last
it.
year.
I want to play it still.
No spoilers.
It's impossible
it is
to
so,
spoil it.
so fucking good. I streamed it. It was one of the few single player games I did. I absolutely loved it.
Wow.
He's a genius. He did that. He did Glory
Papers,
to Us.
Please.
Papers, Please. He's amazing.
Please. They should have released like a Dutch version of that. Papers,
Papers,
please. Yeah, that would
Be
be
all
great.
polite and nice.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we
Glory
need.
to
though.
Amsterdam.
Like just to like spruce it up a little bit, not be so
Depressing.
depressing. Yeah.
So Xylus is in America, by the way, right now, and because he's Dutch, obviously, because quite his Dutch accent, everyone says, "Oh, you from Holland?" Or you from Europe, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm from Holland," and they say, "Oh yeah, have you got any weed or like you smoke weed?" Or they mention weed like instantly. It's
Well,
like
yeah, of
it's
course you
such
would,
a kind
though.
of global. You can't
Yeah.
think Holland without thinking weed.
Yeah, but
it's
there's so
weird.
many
They were the
places
first
where
ones.
it's legal now that like it's not going to be that big of a deal anymore.
I reckon they should have gone full hog. They should have cornered the market. They should have started exporting that shit across the world. You know, they should have like embraced it and been like, we're gonna fucking make money out of this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna.
You mean they should have become
it's like
drug dealers,
green
is what
oil.
you're saying.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They should have been like the modern day, like they should have monetized that shit. But no, they missed their opportunity. Do you know what I mean?
How do you monetize something that anyone can grow?
Because it's all illegal everywhere else, and you sort of
Right,
No,
but then
you-
how do you export it, Lewis?
Yeah.
You prepare, because now it's all legal in like Canada. You were like, if you had all that infrastructure ready to go, you could have just been like, bam,
Yeah.
new marketplace, expand.
You hire in a consultant. Pablo Escobar made billions.
Exactly.
You get him in and you say, Pablo, how do we solve this problem? And he can, he's got logistics.
And he'll tell you, first you get the money.
Yeah.
Then you get the power.
Yeah,
then you get the women.
Puta! And they just
exactly, right? All you do is you lobby the United States and bam, Donald Trump's like, here you go. I'll make weed legal, mate. Easy peasy. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of way it works, doesn't it? You just have money and you just pay people and then everything goes through. That's the world we live in, mate.
You're such a good businessman.
That's it. Right? The key there is to have people that you pay money to do the stuff for you. Like I've been watching, do you know what's back?
Great British Bake Off.
Gomorrah season 4 just started and holy shit, it's so good. Man, have you guys watched Gomorrah yet?
Gomorrah.
I think
the TV series?
I watched the movie. It's about the mafia in Naples.
That's right. The TV series is like fucking amazing. By the way, it's amazing. You have to watch it.
Okay.
It's so good. It's
I've
on
never heard
Sky,
of
I
it.
think. It's called Gomorrah.
All right, I'll check it
Season
out.
4 just started in the UK last night. It was just made available last night in its entirety on Now TV. So
is it subtitles?
yes, it's subtitled. Yeah.
No, you have to speak Italian.
Yeah, you have.
Well,
Yes,
no,
of
I
course
don't
it's
know.
subtitled.
Sometimes they don't, do they?
No,
Yes,
it's
they
not dubbed or
do.
it's just subtitled. It's really awesome. It's really good.
Okay,
It's really
I'll
good.
check it
A
out.
lot of it is based on reality too. A lot of the like storylines in it are based loosely off of stuff that's actually happened. Like it's insane. The fucking
In the
Gomorrah
movie,
is nuts.
I liked the fact that you had they looked at a lot of different influences that the mafia has and organized crime in general has in that area, like the dressmaking industry and the fashion industry.
Oh yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
Is like a big part of it.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's these things that they're involved in, and once they're involved, woe betide you if you're not on their side. Like that's the most ruthless business practices that are going.
Oh, yeah.
Your competition, it's not like they just outcompete you, they just fucking kill you.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Or they run you out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're done. Like we're taking over.
A lot of
what can you do against that?
they control a lot of infrastructure too, surprisingly. Like in Naples, I think most of the garbage disposal for the city is mafia controlled.
And toxic waste disposal and stuff.
and they've had huge
yeah.
problems with that because what they would do is they would just dump it in quarries and stuff. They weren't disposing of it like to standard or anything like that. They were literally just finding places that were like sort of like out in the middle of nowhere where nobody would find it and just burying it or whatever. And it's now like coming back and causing problems, which is kind of unbelievable, really. But
yeah,
but there you go. Yeah, this is an organization that's turned over billions. Like it's insane. I'm pretty sure that they've traced back some of their investments to like the original World Trade Center and everything. Like it's it's really worldwide. Like and frightening. That it's so organized.
Yeah, it is.
It's just nuts. But the series is awesome. Really worth watching. I highly recommend it.
You love your fucking mafia dramas.
Oh yeah, I do. Funnily enough, I didn't like McMafia that much. It was all right, but
what's McMafia?
It was a series on BBC drama series called McMafia.
How do I not know all this shit?
I don't know.
Mafia.
Yeah, but
Forget about it, pal. Forget about it.
It's all right, but no, Gomorrah's really good though. Totally watch it. It's really, really, really nice one. I don't know. It's like it's gritty as fuck. It's like The Wire gritty. Like it's really good. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I've been enjoying actually going through games that have more story in lately as well. Weirdly, I used to be the other way around. I used to be very much like I just want my games to be mind-numbing and repetitive and just But now I kind of want to either think or have a story be told in a decent way.
What was the turning point? What game gave you that impression where you were like, I can't just play a non-story game? What was it that came along that was like, that's it. This is me now. That's what I'm into.
I think it's a combination of things, but I think it's just a time mainly. Like, playing Obra Dinn last year and then playing like a bunch of games since then that have had like really good stories or just been like better than a movie or TV show, just kind of like I've just finished playing Observation on
I played that. I quite liked it.
I quite liked.
Oh, is that
You're
the
in a space
space one?
station.
Observation.
Yeah,
And
you play an AI,
Right.
and you have control over the cameras. I think the lady's name is Emily or something. I think the sort of the main,
it's got
the other main
really
character.
good voice acting.
Yeah, very good voice
Bit
acting.
of a woolly but decent story, and really like just a nice 3D space station that feels like something out of all these sci-fi movies. That
It's
you've
beautifully
watched,
designed. Yeah, it's
I
really good.
watched so many sci-fi movies that are all the same plot. Mostly it feels like you've got Moon and I can't even name them. Like so many set in like the near future. Mostly people go mad with space cannibalism or whatever they get. They turn into space zombies. It happens to people all the fucking time. There's some virus or some bacteria gets to someone's brain and they get loose, and the AI usually goes bad as well and tries to flush them out the airlock, and it usually ends pretty bleakly. Very, very infrequently do these things end on a positive. They're mostly horror movies in space.
This is different. It's very interesting.
It feels like playing a bit like that.
I might check it out. I don't know.
No, it's good. It's not a long game.
I haven't been playing any like single player. I think the last one I played was probably Breath Edge. Remember that one? The space.
Oh, I couldn't stand that.
It's so good. I can't wait for
the humor in it was so bad.
What?
Like,
it was amazing.
It was so not funny.
Did you get to the bit where there's like a child's rocking horse like in space? Did you get far enough in?
Dude, I was 10 minutes in. I quit.
Oh right, okay. There's way more to it. It's really good.
No, like literally the jokes at the start. I was like, this is puerile. This is awful. Like this is just the worst comedy writing I've ever seen.
It ramps up. It gets much better. There's definitely.
Well, you got to grab me early on. That's all I'm saying. Or I'm done.
Sure.
Shut up. Sips' son wrote all the jokes for that.
He did, yeah. Yeah. Last night's it was Ghost Ships. Tonight it's gonna be Rejection from Flax. It's gonna keep him awake all night.
Have a good night's sleep.
God, you're cold.
Same goes for you. I want you and your son to sit up. I imagine like
you're cold
your
as
room
fuck,
is like
Flax.
back to back with his room. You're sitting up, leaning against the wall. Pans across, he's sitting up, leaning against the wall. You're both worrying about ghost ships, and I'm at the helm. Yar, you're not funny. Yar.
Jesus Christ. Tell us how you really feel, Flax. Fuck.
Well, that's just ghost ship me.
Yeah, it's just ghost. All right.
Really
I didn't mean it. It was my ghost ship alternate persona. Was saying all that mean
Yar,
stuff.
that'd be my inner ghost ship. Sorry. I'm going to use that. Yar, sorry about that. I'm a ghost ship.
I say this a lot, but like sometimes I feel like I'm in a gaming rut, but I don't know if I am actually. I've been enjoying games, but just not like the right games, if you know what I mean. Like I definitely have.
You know what I think it is there's a long come down after you've played a truly great game. You just can't. It's the same with movies and books. It's the same with everything. When you've hit a real peak, like for me, Red Dead Redemption 2 was such a monumentally amazing experience as a game.
Yeah.
That stuff I played after that's kind of in a similar vein. Like when people say to me, you liked Witcher 3, right? I'm like, yeah, I fucking loved it. I thought it was incredible. Like I played it through twice. I never do that. They're like, oh, great. Well, you should play so-and-so. It's like that. And I look and I'm like, it's kind of like that, but it's not as good. So I just don't care. Like I can't make do with a half-assed attempt at that greatness. And I think you played a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, playing single-player games. And also, same with Lewis. He played Obra Dinn. I played that. Great story. You play a game that's got a story. If it's not good, you check out. Who cares? It's hard to find a competitor.
Yeah.
I think that's always the risk, though. It's like, oh shit, something's so good, it's ruined everything else for me. I think that's a nice problem to have.
I feel like I was like that with Chernobyl, like the TV show.
Oh man.
I feel like I want to watch something else as good as that, but what is there? Like it was just so fucking good.
I got a book recommendation.
All right.
Okay.
All right. This is, I would say this is really only for people, probably me and Sips' age, not so much Lewis's age, but if you're a little older, you'll remember, no, I'm serious, you'll remember the comedies of the 80s. Like that's what we grew up with. People like Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, all those guys, John Belushi. So all those comedies, there's a book called Wild and Crazy Guys, which is about the early days,
of
late 70s.
Saturday Night Live. Just two
of all that whole
and
era.
Crazy guys.
Exactly. So like John Landis and people like that, and all the comedies that they made. It's great. It's a really good book. I recommend it if you have an interest in that era. Because it was insane. Like the way comedy changed. If you think about comedy before that, it was all Dean Martin and people like that. It was like pretty and Jerry Lewis and people. It was pretty straight. And then along came this. It wasn't alternative comedy so much. That was like the 90s. I think that really came out. But it was the birth of that era. It's really interesting.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check that out. That sounds good.
Sounds like a hot tip.
Sounds
I
like
think
a
you're
real
right. It has
hot,
changed.
A real hot.
It felt
tip.
a lot more wholesome, I guess, back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, 80s comedy. It was pretty.
I
Awesome.
came home and Marge didn't have my dinner ready on the table. And everyone
It was
fucking
very
laughed.
like that.
Now I'm gonna have nightmares about that too. Jeez. Yeah. So, no, my dinner not being on the table when I'm ready for it.
Oh man.
What's the name of the book again? Sorry, can you repeat?
Wild and Crazy
Wild
Guys.
and Crazy Guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it on Amazon. I think it's only in hardback at the moment, but it's very
Okay.
good.
Cool. That sounds really good. I still haven't read the new Red Rising book.
No, it's still sitting on my shelf.
Yeah, I got
I'm
it,
gold.
but I just haven't read it.
The problem was, like I said, I lost track of the story. I can't remember all the characters and who they were. And,
It'll come back to you very quick.
Man, I blasted through those books so quick. I loved them. They were really good.
Yeah.
It's the same, guys. It will come back to you. Don't worry about it. I think it is a strange, like, for me, like, it's difficult to find a time to sit down with a book when you have so much video and other kind of gaming content at your fingertips. You know, it's almost for me like if there's nothing good to play, I'll usually watch something, and then if there's nothing good to, then there's usually something to watch. Do you know what I mean? I'll usually like browse Reddit or something till I go to sleep. I won't pick up a book, and I have to kind of proactively, actually actively make an effort to do it. It's funny
when I'm going away for an event or something. That's when I read, really. Or we go on holiday, I read because I get super bored on the plane. Internet isn't great. I don't have my real computer with me, so I just kind of go like, well, then I'll do something else. And that's when I read, really, which is bad. I should read more at home. If it's
funny.
an amazing book, I'll make time for it.
It's like a psychological thing. Like sometimes doing things that are good for you. When you do them, like when you read books, you're like, damn, why don't I read books more? And like when I do like yoga, I'm like, why don't I do this like more regularly, you know, and stuff. It's like I always regret like, and then I forget, you know, I don't know. It's sometimes silly, isn't it, like that?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is watching stupid YouTube videos at the moment. I was telling you guys I watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Azzyland.
I don't watch good ones. At the moment, my thing is live PD, which is like it's like Cops but slightly better. So these are clips from this live PD show. And it's like traffic stops. It's almost always a traffic stop. So they pretty much all go the same way.
Is it like gambling? Do you know what I mean? Is it like you watch this thing and it could be a lunatic, but it could just be a boring old woman traffic stop.
Right.
You know, it's just
it's almost always they stop the guy and the guy the cop says to the cameraman, "All right, I pulled this guy over because he got a busted taillight and he was doing 40 and 35, so just going to go and make contact with the suspect." So he goes up and says, "Good evening, sir. Can you wind your window down for me?" And the guy's like, "What seems to be the problem, officer?" Like they literally, people all say the same thing. And I think it's because in the main, you don't have any interaction with cops. So your brain isn't running at full speed. You're just saying what you think you could say, and you're trying to talk them out of it.
In the movies.
Right, and stuff that you've seen on TV. Oh, what seems to be the problem?
How weird.
And then the cop says, "You got a busted taillight and you were speeding." And then he says, "Have you had anything to drink tonight, sir?" And they always say the same thing. "Oh, I just had one beer." And he's like, "Okay, because I can smell alcohol like on your breath." And he's like, "Oh no, I had one beer." He's like, "All right, step outside for me, sir." And they make him do the sobriety test. And they all say the same thing. "Well, this floor isn't even. Of course I'm going to stumble." Or "This would be hard to do sober." And they have to do this thing where they put heel, toe, and they have to do 9 steps, turn around and do 9 steps. You just have to walk in a very straight line, like heel to toe. And none of them can do it. They're all stumbling. One guy's like, "Well, of course I'm stumbling. Look at the camber on this road." So he's implying the road camber is so much he can't walk upright. And the cop's like, "All right, well, look, watch me do it." And the cop does it perfectly. And then he takes like 2 steps and practically falls over. Then they do a breathalyzer. And then they search the guy's vehicle. And there's like 5 bottles of vodka open in his car. The guy's just driving around drinking vodka.
Nice.
It's just crazy. Like that's most of the traffic stops. They find a guy who's just skidded off the road into a field, claims he's stone cold sober. The dude's drunk as shit. It's amazing. It's just like that all the time. And then there are some guys that they stop and the car, like they wind down the window and smoke comes billowing out. And the guy's like, "I get a kind of a smell of weed coming off this car. You guys smoking?" He's like, "Oh, just a tiny bit." And they search the car and they've got like 30 pounds of crystal meth in the trunk, just driving around. Like, it's unbelievable. There's so much of it.
That was the time I made an appearance on that show.
So do you reckon these cops who've done this for years, like, kind of can see what vehicles they know are kind of like treasure, loaded up with treasure?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think they get a feeling
for it. They get a sense
because
for it,
honestly,
but they don't always get it right, though. That's the thing. Because it becomes...
No, so some guys, they stop.
You know, they see the same things over and over and over again. And so they apply that to like any future situations that they encounter, but which is kind of like a good thing, but also a bad thing at the same time, right? Because it means that they start profiling and stereotyping more so than they would, and as a result become probably unjust in some cases. You know, like they'll pull somebody over and they're like, this has all of the ingredients for something I've seen before.
Yeah.
And the person will just not fit the description, but they'll force it. They'll force the issue because they're like sure that this is wrong because they've seen it before or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
they know
that's
something's
interesting.
wrong.
and that's when you
like a reinforcement.
That's when you start to get problems. Yeah, that's when you start to get like
if you reinforce your prejudices.
Yeah.
A couple of times, you kind of ignore all the times that counter.
Yeah, exactly.
Those
you have to
because you think, this again.
It's
like,
really their job to deal with things that are presented to them like unbiased in a way, right? Like they should be.
Yeah.
But that a bias definitely develops like over the time doing a job
it's
like
human
that,
nature,
right?
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
but I don't know
it's an
how
interesting
you stop
thing.
Because I mean, I don't know how you stop that.
No, I don't.
What's
I don't know
interesting to me is like how almost all of these like big crimes kind of end up getting busted by someone making either like a stupid mistake, you know. So it almost like I was watching this thing yesterday and it was just like if they had been a little bit smarter, you know, if they hadn't just like kept a souvenir from each of the, you know, people that they'd killed in their house, if they'd just not been so stupid, then they would have gotten away with it.
But it's not stupid,
you know.
It's not. They're not stupid. They're mental.
Yeah,
like,
no, they're not.
Psychos.
They're trying to get away with it, but primarily they are like feeding a unfamiliar impulse. I would say it's like it's
not something that
you would ever consider. You know, like that's why, like, you know, like Jeffrey Dahmer kept like dicks in a jar and stuff. You know, that's what he wanted to do. Like he didn't want to like not get caught eating people. He was so fucking deranged that's
it didn't matter
what he was doing. He was kidnapping like male prostitutes and trying to zombify them. And
I'm not like I'm aware that that's like not those people get caught because they are not, you know, completely hinged. But at the same time, the mafia, they are quite smart with how they, you know, do crime,
right?
And therefore they persist today in like many forms. You know, it's like $1 billion, $1 trillion industry.
But again, they have a vested interest in not getting caught, because they just want to get rich by doing this. Like they're just naturally criminal people. There are people out there for whom the rules of society to them feel like a cheat. Like, how dare you stop me from doing whatever I want to do? Like that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's criminals. So psychos are different in that to them they're better than everybody else, so they should be able to do what they want to do. Like that's a big thing about psychopaths is ego. And that's why they keep trophies, and that's why to them, getting caught isn't the big deal. It's, I mean, if anything, being arrested and having the court case and everything just feeds their ego more.
Yeah,
it's like, look at me. Yeah. I'm on trial here for all these awful things, and I'm gonna face you in court. You have to read these things,
especially if they have a dungeon filled with trophies and stuff as well, because then they're like even more so like.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's part of their legend and their ego, and that's why a lot of these guys like to face their opponents. Like, this is a big thing for rapists when you have to testify in front of them. Is a lot of those guys get off on that power trip of making you uncomfortable in front of them. This is not the way normal people think, so it's hard for you. Your first thought is, man, they could have got away for it. They were so stupid. They're not like us. That's what you have to understand, is they're not looking at it as a crime that they get away with.
Yeah.
They're just looking at it as, this is crazy shit that I do because
I'm
this
not
makes
saying
sense
that.
to me.
I'm just saying that if people are smart, it's incredibly easy to get away with it. That's the scary thing.
I guess.
I guess so, but again, I don't think
we only ever see the dumb guys, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, most of these traffic stops where these guys are ferrying drugs, they got busted for something stupid like speeding or drink driving or a busted taillight. If you were a smart person trying to ferry drugs, you would just have a clean car, because why would the police stop it? And they can't just search your car without probable cause, and anything they do find is inadmissible if they do search it, right? So if they stop you for traffic, and he says, I want to search your car, do you consent? Because they always say, you got any drugs in there? And they say, no. And he goes, you don't mind me searching it then, do you? And they always say, no, go ahead. What they can say is, no, I don't want you to search my car. And the cop needs to have a reason to search your car. He can't just pull you over and search your car. So The easiest way to do it would be have a clean car with a clean driver, and if you get stopped for speeding, you just say, I do not consent to a search. Bingo. But they never fucking do that, because the reason you go into this shit in the first place is you're fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think especially in America, like you should never speak to a policeman without like a lawyer, right? Like that's like the number one.
It depends
thing.
what it's for.
Well, I
but
think
if they
for
pull you over
anything,
and
though,
request your ID, right? But you don't want to escalate.
No, you don't want to escalate, but at the same time, like if they say, can you come into the station and just like answer a couple of questions for us or whatever, like always take your lawyer.
Oh, then you get a lawyer.
Never
yes.
fucking
but
go
if
in
they
there
pull
by
you
yourself,
over and
like,
say you were speeding, like that's what people don't understand is when they say, can I search your car? You can say no.
Yeah.
Unless they can smell weed coming out of the car, or you've got a joint hanging out of your mouth, or something like open containers of booze in the car that they can see. If you've got your stuff in your boot hidden and they have no reason to suspect anything, even if they go ahead and search, and even if they find stuff, they cannot then use it. It's not admissible in court because the search was illegal. So yeah, you can be very careful if you want to. But luckily, most people are not, and they're fucking idiots. Like, I don't know what they think the cops are just going to not notice 30 pounds of meth in their boot.
I feel like that's always like a weird thing for me though, right? Like if you're confrontational, if they say, can I search your vehicle? And you say no, when you actually have nothing in there, I think that's going to cause more trouble, right? Isn't it?
Absolutely. Like if you have nothing to hide, who cares?
Yeah, but you might start off with nothing in there and they're like, well, look what we found. That wasn't in my car. Oh, well, yeah, it was. We just found it. And they've planted like a brick of cocaine in your trunk. So you have to be careful.
This sounds like an episode of Miami Vice or something with some corrupt cops.
You never know, though, man.
Yeah, you do have to be careful.
You gotta be careful. Especially if you fit a profile, It's a stats game at the end of the day. They wanna show that they're doing their jobs, and the way they do that is they measure it against data. Numbers and
well
stuff,
also it's not just dumb people who get caught, it's people who kind of get sucked into it for some reason, or people who are desperate, or people who are forced into it by someone else, or tricked into it by someone else.
Yeah, there are lots of reasons. You're right.
There's lots and lots of reasons why people can
I got
into
pulled
that
over
stuff.
by the police in the States one time. I think I told you guys this. Yeah, I was in Florida.
Hello, Mr. Flax, please roll the window down, sir.
Big fan of the Triforce podcast. Officer Jones has something he wants to say to you. Yes, hello, sir. Just want to say I have a tiny penis. You may go on your way.
And sir, just before we let you go, my wife has a big cavernous gaping vagina as well. Thought you should know about that.
Oh, thank you, officer.
She doesn't listen to the podcast. I just wanted you to know that about my wife's anatomy.
All right. That is enough podcast for today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back next week, hopefully with some more stories, but we'll probably just be in the dad cave for
I'm sure I'll repeat myself a couple of times. Don't judge me.
I'll think of some shit.
Yeah. Go by the Patreon. Thanks for the love.
Yeah.
And see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.